Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Tuesday the 10th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got up this morning earlier than I wanted to, but got up and around. Everything was decent, but woke up and I'd slept wrong, and man, my back and my shoulder was just so tight and sore. But the good news for that is it was not my shoulder I've been having months of problems with. It was my other shoulder, and I was like, wow, how great is that to feel that my left shoulder is doing so much better that I can worry about my right shoulder right now, which is such a different feeling. But yeah, it was not fun for that whole process. So I had wanted to get up and go run early in the morning like I did yesterday, because before it got real hot, but I was so sore there was like no chance I was gonna be able to run. So if I went ahead and got up and around, wife got up and she headed off to work. I went and jumped in the hot tub for a little bit, got my soak on. From there, after that, helped with my shoulder quite a bit. So I hung around the house, got a few things done, need to be taken care of, just kind of general maintenance, life work, that kind of thing. So chilling out a little bit, reached out to a couple different record stores, trying to find a buyer for my father-in-law's record collection, which is like 15,000 albums, he says. I think it's more than that, because when I moved them multiple times, it felt like a lot more than only 12,000 albums. So I don't know. I know they're heavy as hell. You don't realize how much a single record weighs until you put 100 of them in a box, or even 50 of them in a box, and try and pick it up. It gets heavy real quick. So, but yeah, it's awkward and it just kind of sucks. But luckily, U-Haul boxes fit them pretty good, so we was able to move them decently in that process. But it's still just a ton of weight. I think I did the math on it one time, and the amount of weight it was just an ungodly amount of tonnage. When you figure you pick them up off the shelf, so you move them once, you put them in a box, pick the box up, put it on a dolly, move the dolly to the room, take it off the dolly, set it back on the ground, and then do that, thousands of times, and then, basically, or hundreds of times. Then you got to pick them up, put them on a dolly, take them out to the truck, pick them off the dolly, put them back in the truck, take them off the truck, onto another dolly, from the dolly into the storage unit, from the dolly onto the shelf. And that's one trip. And then I had to do the exact same thing, but bring him to my house. So when we moved him out of the storage unit into the house, it was one of those things that when you do the math of how much they weigh, and I move each one like 8 times each, it doesn't take a lot before you realize you're moving thousands of pounds over and over again. And it just annoys me. So, but yeah, trying to find people there, trying to find someone to come give them some quote if they'd be interested in purchasing the whole set, because it's hard to find a single person willing to buy 15,000 records. So yay, fun. And I definitely do not want to mess with the whole selling one by one. That's definitely not something that we're have any interest at all in. So yeah, there's that. But went ahead, so I made some of those calls and got some of that done, kind of hung around for the day. Had to take my father-in-law to physical therapy today, which also the only reason I thought, well, I'll run this afternoon because I got an hour to kill anyway while I'm there. So instead of sitting in the car and or standing out in the sun, sitting on a park bench waiting for him, doesn't make sense. It's like 20 minutes, 25 minutes there. So even if I drove home, it was zero traffic and I get home and say 18, 20 minutes. That's 40 minutes round trip. And I'm home for 20 minutes. Like, that isn't worth it either. So knew that was where I was going to be running. So I dropped him off at physical therapy. There's a record shop that's fairly new. They've been here a couple years in New Smyrna, right down, not too far away from where his physical therapy is. So I actually was able to stop in there directly and speak to one of the owners and chatted with her for a little bit. And she remembered my father-in-law coming in when they literally just first opened up, and had talked about his collection. And she was excited about seeing it, because had remembered part of the story of him owning a record shop in the past, and also the fact of knowing that it was taken care of is going to be helpful for her, because finding good quality used vinyl is really hard in her shop. She goes, we got tons of suppliers for new stuff, but vintage stuff is much harder to find, quality vintage stuff at a reasonable price. So that's one of the things that happens. The one thing she did say, she goes, I don't want nothing to do with the big bang stuff, or big band stuff. She goes, we can't give that shit away. She goes, it just doesn't sell at all, and I have no interest in it, which I'm good with. Like, hey, we can work that out. Whether pull the big band out of it, or at some point, truthfully, if you take the whole collection and make a good enough deal on it, I'll happily just throw it in for free. I didn't say it to her, but he doesn't listen to the big band stuff, and nobody else does in the world. Like, anybody who listens, that's all dead by now. So there was that. But talked to her for a little bit, and then headed out ran around the neighborhood over there by the downtown area. I run out and I run back closer to the car. When it's getting closer to the end of his appointment, so I can stay close thereby. So I did not bring a cigar. Usually I'll take a cigar with me when I go to physical therapy, so I'll get my run in, and then I'll go back to the car, grab a cigar, then just kind of went around the local park to enjoy the cigar, enjoy the beautiful weather. It's hot as hell in the sun, but enjoy the sights of the intercoastal and dolphins and all that fun stuff. But forgot my cigar today, so it's all good. But I was still finishing my run because I spent time talking to the owner of the record shop, and so I was kind of behind on the timing, so it worked out just fine. So he got done, went and picked him up, brought him home. Everything was good there, got him dropped off, and he got figured out the power cord to move the power strip for the fish tank underneath the cabinet, and he was trying to unplug it from the power strip, not the wall. And I'm like, have you ever seen a power strip that unplugs from the power strip, not the wall? He's like, no. I'm like, then why do you think this one would be different? He goes, well, it's more heavy duty. I'm like, yeah, we have a lot of power run off this thing. Like the pumps and the lights and stuff all take a lot of power. I had to get a heavy duty unit so it would be less likely to do damage and burn up because we're running a lot of current through there. And he's like, well, that makes sense. So talked about getting some more fish. Talked about if we're going to buy. I'm thinking, I like the idea of like just ordering, as they'll give us a deal on it, is buy like 100 assorted African cichlids, like tiny babies. And then as they grow up, get rid of the ugly ones and get rid of the aggressive ones, so you have much more docile, much more beautiful tank, and save a lot of money that way. Because the fish he's looking at are anywhere from like 20 to 40 bucks a piece, and I can buy like 100 of these fish for probably 400 bucks. It's like $4 a piece. So if we can fill it up, and he's going to want to have 50 or so fish. So 50 times 20, if we go the cheapest ones, is still a shit ton of money. You know, way more than the $400 would be if we bought 100 little ones. So hopefully it works out and we can figure something out there, and he can have a nice full tank of fish and really enjoy it. But so far he seems to really be liking his fish tank, and I think he's getting the idea of the fish tank is his new passion, and he's getting rid of the records. I hope he's getting rid of the records because he realizes that they don't bring the joy they used to. He's also trying to take the burden off his daughter and myself when the time comes and he's gone. We gotta sell him. But as of right now, it sounds like it's gonna be in that $1 a piece range kind of thing. And if it is that, I'm not going to sell him because I don't want him to realize that he spent $200,000 plus on a collection over his lifetime. And it's easily that too, because he's still buying records at 50 bucks a piece. And then we're going to sell them back for $1. Like, that makes no sense. So at $1 a piece, we will definitely cherry pick out the top end stuff, sell them individually at least, because it's not worth it. Like, there's no way I'm going to sell that collection for 12 grand. That doesn't really move the needle any. If we can get in that $50,000, $100,000 range, then it's a different world. And that'll be put away for his future needs and future care, and also fund his fish tank habit, which I got a feeling once he gets rid of the records, he'll have a lot more space. The house will look empty because every wall is covered in records right now. He'll want to cover it with fish tanks, and he'll need to spend that money on fish tanks. So got done there, got back home, went ahead, got my shower, waited around for my wife to get home from work, and decided what we were gonna have for dinner. So I was gonna have the salmon patties. We got little frozen like burgers, little salmon burgers. They're really good. They're from Costco, and we like them a lot. She goes, I think the buns are bad. I'm like, oh shit, you gotta be kidding me. Went and checked, they weren't. They didn't proof enough. I think when they made them, the bottoms of buns are a little bit denser. So I took the two worst ones, gave her the better bun, and I was good with it. So I don't mind a little thicker, denser bread. So knocked that out, and then from there, headed back outside, had myself a wonderful cigar, and had a massive storm hit over by Kissimmee, Orlando area. One of my friends over there, like, she was complaining, like she was actually scared of the storm. Like, I think she don't do well with storms anyway, but it was like real bad. Then eventually it got to us. The storm had dissipated mostly, but we did get some rain as I finally headed inside to wrap it up and call it a night. So wife and I watched an episode of Frasier, and then had myself a little snack and wrapped it up and called it a night. So that's all I got for right now. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.